You think you know what humanity is capable of? You think you understand the limits of the human body, the human mind? What if I told you that somewhere, hidden beneath layers of rock and secrecy, there's a place where those limits are not just being pushed, but utterly shattered? A lab, not just engineering the future, but engineering us. Not for our benefit, but for theirs. For decades, we've been fed a narrative. Science is slow, incremental. Breakthroughs are announced, celebrated. But what if the real breakthroughs, the ones that could redefine our very species, are happening in the shadows? Not in gleaming university labs, but in facilities so clandestine, their very existence is denied. We're talking about Project Chimera, or perhaps Project Nightingale. The names change, the objective doesn't: to create a new breed of human, stronger, faster, smarter, and completely under their control. This isn't science fiction, not anymore. Think about it. The sudden, inexplicable leaps in athletic performance, the almost unbelievable cognitive abilities of certain individuals. Are these just anomalies, or are they the results? The early prototypes, field testing their creations in plain sight, disguised as natural talent or genetic luck. They're experimenting, gathering data, perfecting the formula. And the chilling part? They've been doing it for longer than you can imagine. But how do you engineer a superhuman? It's not about bigger muscles or faster reflexes. It's about rewriting the very code of life. It's about DNA manipulation, neural augmentation, and a level of biological control that borders on the divine. And the trail of breadcrumbs, if you know where to look, leads right back to some of the most powerful organizations on Earth. Let's start with the genetic angle. We've seen incredible advancements in CRISPR technology, gene editing that can correct diseases. But what if that same technology is being used not to fix, but to enhance? Imagine genes spliced for accelerated muscle regeneration, for enhanced oxygen uptake, for a neural network that processes information at blinding speeds. We're talking about direct upgrades to the human operating system. And when you look at certain athletic performances, certain scientific breakthroughs from individuals, it makes you wonder, are we witnessing natural evolution or something far more engineered? Then there's the brain, the ultimate frontier. Forget simple implants. We're talking about direct neural interfaces that boost cognitive function, memory, even learning capabilities. Think about the rumors surrounding certain prodigies or individuals with almost supernatural mental prowess. Could these be the beneficiaries of advanced neuro-augmentation developed in these hidden labs? The goal isn't just to make someone smarter, it's to make them controllable, to upload information directly, to guide thought patterns, to create a perfect, compliant intellect. Consider the sheer resources required for such an undertaking. This isn't a garage project. This demands billions, cutting-edge technology, and a level of secrecy that only governments or shadow organizations within governments could possibly maintain. We're talking about black budgets, off-the-books programs, and a network of scientists operating under strict non-disclosure agreements, often without even knowing the full scope of what they're contributing to. But why? Why create superhumans? The official narrative would be national security, space exploration, humanitarian aid. But the real answer, the terrifying truth, is far simpler and far more sinister: control. Imagine an elite cadre of individuals perfectly optimized, immune to disease, capable of feats beyond normal human comprehension. Who would they serve? And what would that mean for the rest of us? Let's dive into some of the circumstantial evidence, the unexplained gaps in medical research, the sudden disappearance of scientists working on controversial topics, the sheer volume of anecdotal reports of individuals with gifts that defy explanation. Are these just coincidences, or are they the scattered pieces of a much larger puzzle left behind by a project so vast, so ambitious, that they can't entirely cover their tracks? And it's not just about physical or mental enhancements. What about longevity? The pursuit of immortality has always been a human obsession. What if these labs aren't just making people stronger, but making them live longer? A select few, granted extended lifespans, accumulating power and influence over generations. while the rest of us follow the natural course. This brings us to a crucial point: funding. Who pays for this? Think about the colossal sums poured into defense research or medical advancements that yield little public-facing results. What if a significant portion of that money is diverted, siphoned off, to fuel these clandestine projects? A global shadow economy, operating outside the purview of elected officials, accountable to no one but themselves. The implications are staggering. If they succeed, if they perfect their superhuman prototypes, what happens to the rest of us? Are we destined to become obsolete? A subservient class, managed and controlled by a genetically superior elite? This isn't just about a few enhanced individuals, it's about the future of humanity itself. And the clock, my friends, is ticking. You know, creating content like this takes a lot more than just a good story. It needs the right atmosphere, the perfect soundscape to draw you in and keep you hooked. That's where Epidemic Sound comes in. For all the creators out there, whether you're building a suspenseful documentary like this one, or something completely different, music and sound effects are absolutely crucial. Epidemic Sound offers an incredible library of high-quality, royalty-free music and sound effects that you can use in all your projects, across all platforms, without ever worrying about copyright strikes. Their intuitive search makes finding that perfect track a breeze. And with new music added every single week, you'll never run out of options. I use Epidemic Sound for almost all my videos because it just makes the process so much smoother. If you want to elevate your content and stop stressing about music licensing, click the link in the description below for a free 30-day trial. Trust me, once you try it, you won't go back. Now back to the chilling truth. So, what does this all mean for us? It means we need to be vigilant. We need to question the narratives we're fed. We need to look beyond the headlines and ask, what are they really working on? Because the very definition of humanity is being rewritten in secret, in labs that exist only in whispers and shadows. The final piece of the puzzle, the most unsettling truth, is that these superhumans might not be the obvious, muscle-bound titans you imagine. They could be the quiet innovators, the charismatic leaders, the brilliant strategists who seem to always be one step ahead. They could be embedded in every level of society, working towards a future that benefits only them, a future where the rest of us are simply managed. The question isn't if they're engineering superhumans. The evidence, however circumstantial, is too compelling. The question is, what do we do about it? How do we expose a truth that's been buried for decades, protected by layers of power and deception? How do we fight back against an enemy that might not even look like an enemy, but rather a more perfect version of ourselves? This is just the tip of the iceberg. I want to hear your thoughts. Have you noticed anything strange? Any unexplainable talents or advancements that made you pause? Share your theories in the comments below. Let's start this conversation, because the more we talk, the harder it is for them to keep their secrets. If this video opened your eyes, if it made you question everything, then hit that like button. And if you want to join me on this journey to uncover the hidden truths, then subscribe to the Lost Archive and ring that notification bell, because there's a lot more to uncover.